How can working with nano influencers give your brand an edge in an oversaturated market? I cannot wait to dive into this with my guest. Welcome back to the Marketing Strategy Academy podcast. If you're new here, I'm Jen Vasquez, and I help hyper busy female service providers simplify their marketing with Pinterest so that you can attract more clients, boost your income, and make a bigger impact without stress. You will also get expert interviews like the one I'm doing today with actionable tips to help you market smarter, not harder. And if that sounds like a vibe, then be sure to subscribe either on the podcast or the YouTube channel. Everyone's welcome. Today, I'm very excited to be talking with Vicky. Vicky Boudreau is the co-founder and CEO of Heylist, an innovative influencer marketing platform that connects major brands with nano-influencers to build authentic and long-term partnerships. Prior to Heylist, Vicky co-founded Bitcom, a Marcom agency that redefined industry expertise, growing a team of 40 plus professionals over 18 years. Under her leadership, Bitcom's client roster featured top-tier brands like L'Oreal, The North Face, Neutrogena, Aveeno. I could go on all day. Vicky is a recognized authority in influencer marketing with deep insights into how brands can leverage the unique strengths of nano-influencers, which we're going to cover what that means if you're like, what's a nano-influencer? Don't you worry. And drive engagement and authenticity. Her experience makes her a powerful resource for both brands looking to expand their reach and also influencers aiming to grow their career. Welcome, Vicky.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I
Thank
know,
you.
and I'm so sad that you just came and were here in the Bay Area. Prior to this, we could have had a tea or something.
Or do this live,
I
actually.
know. Oh my gosh, that would have been great. That's okay. Next time you're in the Bay Area, let me
Oh,
know. We'll
for
have you on the
sure, I
show
will.
again and we'll do it live.
Amazing.
All right, let's go ahead and dive in because in this podcast today, I want to really focus on both sides of the business from a person who wants to be an influencer or a business owner who part of their brand maybe is being an influencer, from the entrepreneur hiring an influencer to influencers looking to partner with brands. So we're going to dive in first. Talk to me about what a nano influencer is and how it could be a powerful tool for brands.
Yeah, so basically, nano influencers are smaller creators. I like to say, with all my art and respect, that they are civilians. They don't necessarily aspire to become those big celebrities. They're more the
Yes.
go to person in your entourage. Like, let's say you want to do a trip with your family, you know who you're going to ask for reference. If you want to go on a girl's getaway, you might ask your friend who has no kids and is always like out and
Yes,
about.
always traveling. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Those ones. And so everybody's an influencer. Like whether you like it or not, you probably are within your circle. So the idea came when we started to activate like a smaller creator for big brands. I was in the industry for 15 years doing influencer marketing, and I was just writing bigger checks to bigger influencers. And I was like, where is this going? I want to go back to, I'm sending you a product, you're excited, you're talking about it, but because you really like it. So it was a pilot project at the beginning, solely sending beauty products to more regular people. And they were talking about it online, and it picked up so well that it just grew. And I decided to pivot and start a tech business at 42-year-old. Not your
Okay.
typical 20-year-old in a garage, but I'm almost
Yeah,
two.
I
But
love
it's
it.
it's it's so appealing for both brands and agencies. And on the other side, those creators, they're getting products, they're getting experiences, but now we educate our clients to pay them at least like 50, $100 so they can earn a few $100 a month, which can make
Yes.
a difference for newcomers, students, solo moms, like for anyone.
It's so amazing for single moms or stay at home moms to bring in a little extra cash. I know one of my friends started as a nano influencer because she wanted a way to talk about all the things her and her mom friends were talking about and to be like talking about it online. she makes thousands of dollars every month now just by that little thing. And she's with her kids exactly where she wants to be. We dug in first on Nano-Influencer because I didn't want people still wondering while we're having this conversation what that is.
Yeah, I just want to specify that we kind of limited to 10,000 followers and less, just to
Okay.
give you a scale.
That's perfect. But let's go back a little bit because
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. What inspired you to create Heylist, and tell us a little bit about it, and what gap in influencer marketing does it aim to fill?
Actually, I built my first company over the course of 18 years with Marina, my business partner. She still runs it today. We're having offices in Montreal, Toronto. Montreal, where I'm based, you can tell by my accent. Montreal, Toronto, New York, and now Paris, and doing super well. But I had this calling with that idea of empowering people with their side revenue, like we just touched on. And this was too big to ignore. Always was curious about tech. Also, built my first website on GeoCities in the 90s. And it actually was a virtual shopping center. Maybe I should have keep on and built Shopify, but I was into snowboard a lot. So it was like snowboard brands, and you would click on the logo, and then the page would appear 25 minutes later.
Oh my gosh, this is when the .com where you would dial in sometimes on the internet.
So
Raging
I
ourselves.
always had this curiosity for tech, but it was not, it's awful what I'm going to say, but it was super uncool at school. So I was like doing my stuff, like not telling anyone. And I come from a very remote fisherman village, like northeast of Canada. So for me, internet was like the world, and it was so exciting. So it's really like, I think I decided to build it part of my curiosity, because influencer marketing is not going anywhere. It's just going to continue. 57% of Gen Zer, they want to become influencer as a profession if they had the chance. So that's a lot of people, whether you like it or not, it's going to stay around. So what I wanted to fill the gap you're more mentioning is that now there's a lot of platforms out there, but they're focusing on the bigger influencers because this is
Yes.
attracting a lot of money and they take commission out of them. Whereas structuring the smaller creator economy is the work that we want to do, and turn everybody into their own billboard so they can monetize their own image. That's the vision, and going global for sure in North America. But we're having creators in 27 countries. They just
Oh my,
register.
that is
I want to,
amazing. You are creating literally an income for people. An income. And they don't have to be these big, huge 100,000 follower accounts. That is
yeah.
amazing.
And right now, there's still a lot of gifting.
Like, let's say they're a stay-at-home mom, like I mentioned, and they want to send you a baby monitor.
Exactly. And all the steps are automatized between them. So you do your research, you build your list. And now we started, just like Spotify, we have like the new badass cool era. And we curate lists,
That's awesome.
bubbling beauty buses.
That's
And
so awesome.
so the brands, and they can go on and like do their own research or start pulling from those lists.
Yes.
And the creators, because we're connected to Meta and TikTok, all the data is in real time. So
Oh,
all the results are,
and that's a hard step. So
I
congratulations,
know,
because I know
that's
tech
my,
companies are
we
having
have
a
to
hard
thank our
time.
our CTO as the know-how to get those relationships. And so we got the approbation pretty fast on YouTube. But I get so many requests for LinkedIn as well. But LinkedIn is kind of a black box right now. Not super easy to have access to.
Okay, so let's say I'm a business. How should I go about selecting the right Nano-Influencers to align with your values and audience?
Yeah. So one thing that is super important, and you mentioned it, is the audience. There's us, but there's like other tools too that can tell you the person that you select, where is their audience based. If 95% of their audience is in India and they never put a foot there, it might be fake followers. So, and if you're in Canada and all of the following is in the States and your product is not available in the United States, you're just wasting time and money there.
Agreed.
Yeah, and You want the influencer to be genuine and authentic. A tip that I would give to smaller brands that are starting, just go on Instagram, look at who are your super cheerleaders and entertain them and give them love and activate them because they already use your product, they're already sold, and it's going to become as super authentic and genuine what they're doing. And
Yeah,
also
they're your
looking,
biggest fans. If they're like
yeah,
followers and they comment and they like and they send you DMs, those are the people to definitely start with.
yeah, just start with them. Yeah, like super low hanging fruit. And also look when looking at the engagement, you don't want to look solely at number of likes and comment, but look at what type of conversation is happening under those publication, those posts. People engage with that person. Do they ask question? That's a type of things we're looking at when looking at smaller creator. Of course, if you're writing to Beyonce about her lipstick, I'm not sure she's replying, but you don't want to smell like your best friend. So perfume for me is aspirational. It's still fine to work with celebrities, but if you have a zit, you want to know what your friend is using. So it
Yes.
really depends
Oh,
on the category.
that's so smart. It's nuanced, in other words,
Totally,
right?
totally.
Yeah.
I always say we're not here to say like big influencers are bad, that you're wasting your money. I'm just
No.
here to say we're tackling a different tier that is like more grassroots. Sometimes the pictures are not perfect, but people are craving for authenticity. So
I was just going to say, I do a lot of marketing testing because that's just what we do and we need
yeah.
to know for our clients, right? Like, so we do it all the time. My account in particular, when I share a brand photo, a professional brand photo, it gets half of
Hmm,
than when if I just pick a picture within the video, right? Like just what I did, that gets way more engagement. And engagement like sharing means that people are sharing with their friends or share like
that's huge.
that's the really important engagement and authentic photos or cell phone photos or cell videos that are not edited are the ones that tend to do the best.
Yeah, that could be surprising on paper, but that's what people are looking at and stop scrolling for.
I know. What and that's the key, right? We got to stop the scroll. Like that's the only way to get seen. So, what are some of the most common mistakes that you see brands make when working with influencers and maybe how can they avoid it?
Yeah, I think focusing on the follower counts is kind of a security for some marketers because they want to show big numbers to their buzz. We understand that, but it's not always the key. And I would say not giving enough creative freedom. If you're collaborating,
Ooh, that's a good one.
yeah, if you collaborate with someone, they know their audience, they know how to present, they know what works well for them. So sometimes trying to over control, it's not going to get you any further. We do some do's and don'ts just to,
Of
because
course.
sometimes the smaller creator they don't have a
Of
lot of
like
experience, so we kind
don't
of
be in a
handle them.
dark living
Yeah,
room like you're in a cave. Make sure you're next to a
exactly.
window where you have a light source, right? Yeah,
Yeah, and
of
sometimes there's
course.
some regulation for alcohol. You cannot bring the bottle to your mouth in Canada.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, and some very specific on branding. We have a sunscreen client. They don't want like girls in bikini, super sexy.
They want more
So it,
family stuff or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
So you can protect your brand to a certain point, but we just pulled out of a deal with a big enterprise. They were having 3 rounds of approbation by their lawyers. They were requesting that the content from the smaller creator to be approved by their corporate lawyers. And as
and
we
that
don't
takes
really,
time
yeah,
too. I
forever.
mean,
And just if you don't pay the influencer like a very big contract, it's overkill. Moving forward, we're looking at different ways to add brand safety that they call to
yeah.
what we do, but never had a bad experience so far. So be clear on your expectations and KPIs, the number of content you want, what are your expectations, because what we see and still see today is like some brands that just give people and they're like, oh, I hope they're going to talk about me
Yeah,
first.
that's
Never
not good.
send a package to someone who's not expecting it, and it's not like eco-friendly. If you just like blind seed, you first check in with them. Oh, would you be interested in getting a product? It sets the tone for, I'm expecting you to do something if I'm sending you something,
Yeah.
and people expect it, and then they can plan in their like calendar of content. What's fun about smaller creators that they most of the time they do more that we ask than the big ones.
Yes. They
Yeah.
do more and they typically do it faster than
Yeah.
with a really big influencer. You're gonna pay more and they're gonna sometimes take more time to fit
Yeah,
into
because
their schedule.
their calendar is filled with collaborations that they have to do.
Yeah. Well, how can brands measure the success of a nano influencer beyond likes and follows?
Yeah, so we spoke about the engagement rate, but there's also the click-through rate. What we did that worked well is like sharing some promo codes because those creators haven't tired their family with all those promo. It's almost new for them. So friends and family are getting excited. They want to support them. So they're using the codes. In
And
one
it's a good
occasion,
way of tracking also
yeah.
direct results, right?
And I suggest that if you do like let's say 20 or 30 influence smaller creators, just use one code. You don't necessarily want to know like every single person. And for some categories around Black Friday, we saw tremendous results also for a flight simulator experience around like a 4-time return on their investment. And it was pretty costly as an experience, but people like the timing, the offer was great. The content that was created of the families going in a video with their kids and their dads, it was beautiful.
Ah,
It's always a test and learn for every brand. You're gonna sometimes think you have the best idea and people will love it. They're like nobody does nothing special, and then it's always a test and learn.
that's
Yeah.
really good. Okay, so now we're going to switch hats. So for influencers looking to partner with brands, and these can be business owners. Remember, we're talking about
Of
nano
course.
influencers. So you, as a business owner, this could be another stream of revenue for you. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be like a mega influencer someday, this is kind of a great way to start. So, from an influencer's perspective, what qualities make someone stand out to brands on a platform like Heylist?
I think it's about the expertise and the niche that you're crafting. And I think you just connected dots in my brain right now. As a business owner, whether you're in the beauty space, whether you're in the wellness space, whether you're in the construction building space, you can become the influencers you'd like to sponsor. Just think about what type of content you'd like to see and build your content around that space. And brands are looking for experts because they want people to follow someone that they're attracted to the category that they do. Let's say
Yes.
I'm doing those healthy teas, and I'm talking about my product and I'm embody the healthy lifestyle. There's a big chance that the followers are your customers or the potential
Yes.
clients. So I would definitely think about using yourself as a business owner as the face of the
Yeah.
brand. If you don't like that, that's very cheap.
But hey,
That's a very
let me be honest. Everybody needs to show up online if you own a business. Like you just do. There's more trust, all the things. What advice would you give to nano influencers trying to build long term relationships with brands rather than just like one offs?
yeah, we mentioned it before, but do more than expected. If you're asked to do like 2 posts, then you can do 3 or 4. It's still transactional, even if it's a small collaboration. So be professional. If you say yes, do respect the engagement that you took. Staying in the time frame that is required is super important as well. You can also build like a one pager of your past collaborations with your numbers, just like a small, don't go like with a big deck, but people will trust you if they see that you're professional and you take it seriously. They're more likely to engage with you and do it, and engage with the brands also outside of your partnership. Let's say you got a gift a month ago from that company, make sure to interact with them online still.
Yes. Don't
After
just stop. Yeah.
um,
Don't stop. You're right.
yeah, because brands will be looking also for more than one of partnerships. They will look at who performed well within the campaign,
And who is easy
collaborators.
to work with, who turned in their information on time, who posted, who liked, who kept interacting. Of course, the numbers are important. That's part of a company's budget, but it goes a long way to having somebody that you like working with that follows all the rules that you need to follow.
Totally. And you're talking about the number of followers, but a trend that we see right now also is like pure UGC. So user generated content. So the brands
Yeah.
are looking for creators, not for their follower counts, but more for the type of content that they're able to provide. So the brand can repurpose in their own social, because nowadays it takes so much content to run those social networks that relying on a network of creator could be a turnkey solution instead of going on big fancy photo shoots that are costing and that you just mentioned are not giving the ROI in terms of
No.
attracting.
Before we get to the gift that you are so generously sharing with our audience, tell everyone about the services that you provide. How do they go? How do they get on there? How hard is it?
Yeah, we come from the advertising space. My co-founder, my CTO is coming from tech and myself from PR and marketing. So we really wanted to build something that is super fun, that is nice to look at, because if you're going to spend time in your day on a platform, rather make it fun. And so it's very, very easy of use. You can come to our website, ask for a demo, and we'll take it from there. First,
Super
the easiest way
simple.
to connect. Yeah, and I'm very,
Yeah.
super active on LinkedIn also. If you want to connect, if you have any question about influencer
Excellent.
marketing, happy to answer.
And then just as a heads up for Heylist, do the nano influencers pay a fee on there? Like, how does that work?
No, it's totally free for
Because
them
there's a
to
lot of
join.
companies out there that do that. So I wanted to make it aware on this subject that there are a lot of people that will charge you to be a nano influencer and then
We
potentially
don't.
get paid. It's crazy.
No, we don't. We don't. That sounds scammy a bit. We
Yeah,
don't.
sounds very scammy. I will agree with that. So beware, people. Okay, so tell everyone what you're offering in terms of your
Yeah. So
rebate.
I'm super excited to offer the audience today a rebate of 20% on our first collaboration, whether it's you taking on the self-serve platform on your own, or if you want to try out with a small campaign that we do white glove service as well as a startup sometimes, because people, they want to try it, but they don't want to have someone from
Go
their
through the
team
whole
go
thing.
through
Yeah.
the, yeah, or they don't have the internal resources neither to do so. That's something that we can do as well.
And so we'll have your email below and they can send an
Yes.
email. Why don't you put in the code MSA for Marketing Strategy Academy 2025 in the email so she knows exactly that it came from this podcast. So let's do that. But that's awesome. If you were considering or wanting to be an influencer, or if you're a brand and you can afford the big influencers right now, which many of our businesses really aren't able to do that. This
Yeah.
is a great opportunity and this is a huge discount. So, thank you so much for your valuable advice and your time today. And if you guys out there listening and watching found any ideas and tips that you can implement in your business, we would love for you to leave a review. I will sometimes listen to podcasts when I'm on a walk or I'm playing on the ground with my grandkids and then I forget about it. Right. So if you're listening to this right now, put some time on your calendar to go investigate, figure out how it works, see if it's something you want to do right now so that we can go ahead and get you up and running as an influencer or as a brand. All right. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you so much
day.
for having me. Bye.